Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I wanted to take and share a little bit more about the Langmuir Systems plasma cutting bed. I've been getting a lot of questions about it ever since I've been doing all of the plasma cut blank work that you've been seeing me do on the channel. All of that good stuff there. I wanted to just give like a little update and some thoughts. And also I've had a guy helping me. You all know him and love him as Thomas Goodymoot, the hand model.
Hi guys.
And he's been helping me run the plasma bed, and so he's kind of got like the true beginner's perspective on the way it was just like coming into it and being thrust into the whole plasma cutting world. So I'll let him give you some perspective and some thoughts too. So tell him, Thomas, what you think of the Langmuir Systems from a complete noob perspective.
Oh, it's actually very easy to deal with here. You make your nests in one of the other systems. Then you output it over here, and it's simply just click on that. Very easy. It loads up. Then you just got to make sure to square up to your plate. The system's actually quite easy to work with here. Coming from a newbie, I've never worked on a plasma table before. I've ran hand cut torches, but not a table. So very simple. The only thing I strongly dislike about this table from working with it is these wonderful bearings right here.
How many of those have we had to replace, Thomas, now? What'd you figure?
We've already had to replace 5 of them now, and it's fairly easy to replace out, but it shuts me down, or one might hang up and then it kicks the table, it locks it up, and then I have a hang and can destroy a whole sheet. It doesn't destroy it, but it
complicates things. Yeah, it complicates things.
It. So that's my thing I do not like about that is those bearings. They could put some better ones in, or even offer some extra ones that come with the table. Luckily, we were able to get some at the hardware store, but that involves running to the store, getting it, repairing it. The other thing I strongly dislike on this table is where the 2 pans come together right here. As you very well can see, if you watch long enough, you'll see some drippage. Okay, well, we don't got it all day.
Wait for it.
Yeah, but already water in the bucket.
Dropped again. There it goes again. Oh, yeah, you can see water down here, so we got to have catch pans and things like that on it. And that just comes from the fact that somebody could have they could have included a rubber gasket, which would be way stronger and better than trying to trust silicone to become your gasket there. Had problems with that since moment one.
So other than that, it's a very nice system. I like it. So we're going to hit the one thing you always do on this is hit a dry run. Make sure that everything's going to go and work. So we dry run it you only have to do a couple of it. Yep, system's happy. We're not having any runoffs.
So what happens on this, the reason why we always go with the dry run, because we've been having a problem with these bearings hanging up on the table, is it'll hang, and the G-code, the computer doesn't know that. The G-code keeps running. And so it thinks you're over here in space and time when really you're over here in space and time. And so let's say you're cutting a big 12-inch diameter circle out of this, and so it just cut something over here and then it hung, but it was supposed to come clear up here. So it hung down here, but it was supposed to come clear up here to start its 12-inch circle. Well, now it's starting its 12-inch circle and it runs off the plate, and then you've lost that portion of the plate, which with the cost of plate prices now, pretty darn expensive.
Yeah,
really expensive. So that's quite a frustrating thing when it happens like that, huh?
It is, and just having hangs. Other than that, it's actually, as a newbie here on this, I would say it's very simple. I think Roy showed me 2 days, was it?
Yeah, about 2 days of training.
He showed me a couple days of some training, and then he was like, all right, that's your baby. I'm going out in the shop and doing some foraging. So very simple. Practice though. because there's been times where I'm like, I need an adult, help, and so it's not too bad though. Definitely like their system, except for their flaws that I pointed out.
Okay, so there's a new guy's perspective on it. From a seasoned veteran, I say that with a lot of schmuckism there. From having this table for just a little over a year now, I'll speak a couple things from experience here. I get a lot of questions about, what plasma cutter am I running with it? The simple answer to that is I am running the Hypertherm PowerMax 65. I sprung for the extra on that, and when I say extra, it's worth more than the bed itself. I did that because I fully anticipated on upgrading from the Langmuir's bed at some point to another cutting system. So I wanted to already have my power unit ready to go and something that would be compatible with future CNC, plasma cutters in the future. The air compressor, people ask, well, how big of an air compressor do you need? Generally speaking, the larger, the better. As you can see here, I have this air compressor is a 250 gallon air compressor, so it holds a lot of air, lots of air, but you could get by on a 60 gallon air compressor and run just fine. Really, you just have to provide about 90 psi, generally speaking, about 90 psi to the Hypertherm system, and you need to be able to supply that at about 14 cubic foot a minute of airflow. So you do want to make sure that you have a fast enough air compressor to bring things up on that, but that's for the Hypertherm. Now they do sell over at the Langmuir site. They sell this little plasma cutter called the Razor Weld. I have no experience with that or that type of thing. I don't know how good or bad it is. There's plenty of other reviews of Langmuir Systems tables online. You can go check those out and find other guys' experiences with that. But I did spring for the extra Hypertherm. Now that came with one real big drawback. Because Hypertherm is a professional cutting solution, and it's a way above bar. It's an industrial cutting solution. It's kind of the industry standard. It comes with a really thick, and I do mean a really thick cutting torch lead, which is great. Well insulated, really big wires. It has everything that it needs in there to handle the amp, the amp capacity and stuff in there. But the bad thing about that is like what's going on with the bed here that I have. Their Z-axis on the Langmuir systems is just completely underpowered for having a big cutting torch like the Hypertherm PowerMax 65. It's just totally inadequate. The bearing shift on it, and it's all in their roller bearings where the Z-axis travels up and down, where it gets a lot of flexing. If this cord pulls even in the slightest, a little bit up here translates to a whole lot of wobble on your cut. So you don't notice it so much when you're in thin material, but when you're in really thick material, it can lead to a lot of wonky holes and stuff like that. And that's been a real big pain to take and get out of that. But to Langmuir Systems credit real quick, I actually measured the tolerances on the Z-axis because I thought, well, maybe something is out of range, right? So maybe something's crooked, and it's, I've got something mounted crooked, and I actually put an indicator on there, and everything was within to about 10 thousandths of an inch, so about 10 thou. Everything was in range on that. Like, that's a lot. You're not going to notice that in your cut. Plasma cutting's not that serious of accuracy. So, everything was machined appropriately, everything's mounted squarely, so all that was in good shape, with the bed. So I can say that it's not necessarily the machining tolerances, it's just you probably want to stick with the little handheld torchy thing, kind of the homeowner brand type torch system that they recommend with it, because it has a lighter gauge wire and it's not prone to having any sort of leverage on that Z-axis. You probably get a better cut. So would I spring for a bigger unit? I would spring for the bigger unit if you're going to do a lot of production running, or if you're planning on upgrading the bed at some point in time to a bigger system. you don't have this rolled up in that cost. You only have the bed cost of a bigger system anymore, because most big systems, when they're asking 15, 20K, a good portion of that is this Hypertherm here. So just to let you know, I think I had that all out the door for about $4,000. So that's just in the plasma torch itself. So the $800 they're asking for the razor weld thing really ain't too shabby if you're just getting started in it. So yeah, that's what I use on it. That's just some general thoughts I had about the Hypertherm thing. Has it done well for me? Is it a worthwhile purchase? You know, I'm not real big into the puff pieces that a lot of people online are doing about it. I'm into facts and where companies could do better. I know that they've got a new system out, their XR. I may end up purchasing that bed at some point. I don't really know. I'll have to see how it goes and see what other people come up with on that. They've changed some of the system around that sounds a little bit better and fixes some of the issues I've had to deal with, with this bed system itself. But if you take a look over here, I've been doing very successful. Thank you to all of the community that has made this a successful journey. Is, all of these blanks that you see here, these are all of our hook blanks we offer at our website, blacksmithingblanks.com. I've got handle blanks up here. We've got Christmas ornament blanks, right? We've got flower blanks down there in the bottom corner. I don't know how much of this you guys can really see that well. We've got bowl blanks of all types. We sell guillotine tools now. C-frame and A-frame guillotine tools. We're selling all sorts of good stuff out there and really expanding the business. And none of this, let me just say, none of this would be possible without that first leg of my journey of being able to at least get into the CNC space. So if you're thinking about the Langmuir systems, it's a good first starter, but be advised that it's not perfect. So it's not like what you think, where you can just walk up, punch a button, and walk away, go have a coffee for 20 minutes somewhere and let it finish its run. It's really not like that. You do have to babysit the bed. You do have to be there to pull parts. There's no tip-up protection on it. It has no sensors to stop it when it's run too far off of its map. It'll just keep grinding motors. So you do have to actually babysit the system quite a bit. Isn't that right, Thomas?
Yes, it's not really, if you have a tip up, it can keep shoving. On light gauge, it'll shove the material around. But on heavier gauge, it can sit there and it just grinds.
Yeah, it just grinds on.
You don't want to blow a motor out.
Yeah.
So it's not my baby. It's his.
Yeah, but when do you ever just just press the button and then go outside and smell the flowers?
Nope, never. I stand right there. There's probably 2 spots on the ground that has my imprints on it.
Yep.
But
there probably literally is 2 spots where he stands all the time, and they're probably the same 2 spots I stood all the time too.
Yeah.
When I was doing it. So yeah, so that's just some things to think about. People always just assume that my assumption was wrong too as well. My assumption was I was going to get this thing and it was going to be like a robot in my shop. I was going to be able to fire it off over here in this side of the shop. I was just going to be able to go walk over into the other side of the shop and do forging for the day and just come back and check on it every 20 minutes or so. And when it's completed a run, load another sheet and just fancifully just hit a button and off she goes again. And that's just not how it works. So if that's kind of what you've got in your head and that's really what's sold, right? I mean, that's what's sold to you, is that CNC's so easy, but it's not. It is a learning curve, but it's a learning curve that a simple guy like me can figure out. A simple guy like
this simpleton can do.
Thomas can figure out. So it's certainly something that you can figure out as well if you apply yourself and you put a little bit of time into figuring out your systems and stuff like that. Would I recommend it? Yes, I would. Just be advised that it's not perfect and you kind of get what you pay for. At the end of the day, that's how it always works. Isn't that right, Thomas?
It is. And can I add anything?
Yeah, go ahead.
So at the end of the day, I want to thank the community and all the subscribers here for when you go over to www.blacksmithblanks.com and purchase any of the blanks, because what you guys are doing, you're keeping me gainfully employed as well. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. I love you, and God bless.
Aw, ain't that sweet? So yeah, same thing here. I greatly appreciate everybody who's been purchasing the blanks and all that stuff and helping to grow this side of the business. Couldn't do it without you, and hopefully you guys are really enjoying the great swag and stuff. Speaking of that, before I let you go, if you're interested in any of our blanks, it might be behoove you to become a channel member here as well, because we give a large discount to channel members over there, and it's arranged by basically your tier level of membership. You get a larger and larger discount. The larger and larger member you are, the larger and larger discount over at the website on all of our digital downloads, our blanks, tooling, things like that. There's some great perks and benefits there. So that's it for today. God bless each and every last one of you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, all that jazz. Watch some of the other videos on the channel. That's free support right there. And yeah, until next time, we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.